everyone. Welcome or welcome back if you are new here. Nope, that's the other way around. That's okay. My name is Becca and this is Becca is Stitching. This is Flosstube number 10. It's Friday, April 25th. And you know, Flosstube is where we talk about cross stitch, crafting. I'll talk a little about books, all of the things. And if you are not interested in that, I'm honestly not sure how you got here, but that's what we're going to talk about. Quick notes. I'm not going to do a huge intro like apparently I've been loving doing lately. Giveaways, I'm going to double check before I post the video, but I do believe only one person had gotten back to me, so I'll put the winners here and check my last video. Email me, get in touch with me through Instagram. Either one works for me. But I have gotten the information I need for the one giveaway for sure, and I just need to send them their stuff. The other big exciting thing is I finished my sweater. So yes, I finished this over the last 2 weeks, and I will give more information on it down knitting in case knitting is not something that you're interested in. But I'm very excited, and I've been wearing it pretty much nonstop since I finished it. But with that, you know, I'm just going to jump right into whips today. And so the first thing that I will talk about today is Dragon. So this is Dragon by Need a Lot Designs. This is my temperature stitching piece, and we have a Diana here who just really, really wants to say hello. She says, "Mom, you're talking, but not talking to me. Attention." I had to grab her before she jumped on the table like she did last time and got in trouble. So, okay, thank you for visiting. And down you go. Anyway, so daily stitching. I usually put in a length or two in every work day because I usually just work on this. It's my upstairs project, so I pop this in and work on it for a little bit before I start my day while I'm drinking my coffee. And I have gotten in 1,129 stitches since we last saw it. This is on 32 count sand by Picture This Plus. It's linen and I'm stitching it 2/2. I've made a couple swaps, but I'm anticipating I'm finishing this over the next 2 weeks, so I will go over everything that I changed when it's done. And we're currently at 85%. So I do believe that this will be finished for sure in the next 2 weeks here, if not sooner. So it's looking so good. Honestly, the most stitches I have left are in this border color, so the rest of it is just going to fly by. And I believe this is what I'm going to be bringing to my stitching meetup. We meet up once a month over in Culpeper, Virginia. And I think I'm just gonna bring this because it's super easy and that'll just get me closer to the finish even faster. But we're getting there. It's looking so good and I can't wait for this to be done. Because I've got so many other patterns. Not that I'm excited to be done, I've enjoyed working on it. I've just got so many of her patterns and I really try not to work on more than one pattern per designer at a time. So once I finish this, I can start another one. But because that is my daily stitching and that will be up soon, I do have two options for my next daily stitching piece that I thought you lovely people could help me decide on. So the first option is working on Winter Queen. I figure with Mira May coming up, I want to pull her out at some point anyway, so she's a really good option for just daily stitching, just get a little bit done on her every day. And these next two, I'm not gonna do daily stitching till the finish, unless for whatever reason I get there. I'll probably do like 2 to 4 weeks of the daily stitching on each of these like pieces as I go forward and just choose a different one every 2 to 4 weeks, really just depending on how I'm feeling at the time. But that's option one. Option two is my Cottage Garden Samplings piece. This is the Fabulous Houses series, I think number 5, but this is the Hobbit House. So yes, these are your two choices. Let me know down below if you would like to see me work on Winter Queen every day or on the Hobbit House every day. I think both are good choices. This for Mira May and this just because it's very springy, especially once I start getting those flowers in. So let me know. Okay. So with that, I then worked on, well, not then worked on, but you know, my weekly progress stuff that I do. I then had my temperature pieces. None of what I just said makes any sense. Whatever. My 2 temperature stitching pieces, I pick one project every week for temperature stitching and I just work on it for 1 hour. So every Sunday I look for the following week, choose the highest temperature. The second digit of that temperature corresponds to one of my whips, and that's what I pull out every Sunday. So, or that particular Sunday. So one of the days was called for Morgan. So this is 2/1 on 18 count Aida, and this is a Carolyn Manning Designs piece. And I got in 354 stitches. I think I got some of this in. I think I got in some of these greens here and just really started to fill some stuff in. But I'm still very much like in the first quadrant. I think I'm at 12.01%. So this still has plenty of work that needs done on it. But that's okay. It's, you know, I like pulling this one out for temperature stitching because I get like that 300 to 400 stitches in. And it's slow, but it's very steady progress and it's nice and easy. I do like picking this up when I do. It's just not something that I really want to work on for a long period of time because I can get bored with this one in particular. Okay, my second temperature stitching was Mother Nature Spring. This is a series by Stitchora Designs. You know, I'm gonna put something white behind it. So this was a series in 2023's Just Cross Stitch magazine. So there's one for every season, plus Christmas, plus Halloween. So there's 6 in total. I've done the first one, Winter, and this is where she is. So, you know, I started working in some of these blues. I started pulling some of these down, and I got this back stitching in when I worked on her. So this is, you know, just called for 2/2 for the most part on 32 count antique white Jobelan. And I really do like working on these. So with this, so we had our whole Bella Filipina discussion last week, and it seems like I'm not the only person who has those issues with those charts. B, it looks like a lot of people just end up putting them into like WinStitch or one of those pattern softwares. So I did end up buying that WinStitch to put the my Bellatrix into that so I can work on her digitally. I'm having some issues with that, so I need to look further into that. But I decided to put this one in there also. So I do have the bottom half of her charted in my digital, like in digital format. So I think the rest of her is going to go by so easy, and I will have some stitch counts. I think there's like 5,000 stitches left. So at some point she'd probably be a good, you know, work till she's done daily stitch. Not this month, but potentially coming down the line. But they're just so pretty. Like I love, and this is kind of what I'm saying before, like I love actually doing backstitch because you are getting like a smaller design, but you're getting so much more detail into it using, obviously you're not just relying on the pixels. So you can get something that's more intricate without making it huge, which I do enjoy. And backstitching is its own, you know, form of stitching that, you know, I don't not enjoy it. Obviously, like anything, it gets tedious after a while, but I do enjoy it. But going back to Bella Filipina, I do think because it seems to be an issue, and I'm not going to say I'm never going to buy or stitch another one ever again, but my issue is that they're like one of the most expensive patterns to buy. Forget if you even get their digital patterns, like their stitch alongs and the one that they just released that I showed last time, like those are $50. And granted, you get those ones digitally, so maybe it is worth it, but I can't see paying extra when I know I'm going to struggle and be annoyed by the chart and potentially have to spend hours putting it into a charting software just so it's like not causing me frustration to stitch, when there are so many other designers that I do not mind and enjoy stitching off of paper patterns. Like, I don't have to work on everything digitally. I do enjoy working from paper patterns sometimes. So you probably won't see too many Bella Filipinas going forward unless I decide I really enjoy putting them into, you know, the software. But it's hard for me to spend, it's not a ton more money, right? But it's hard for me to justify spending a little bit more money and then having to spend so much more time just to get it workable for me. All of that said, this piece is looking great and I'm really excited about it. And the only reason I charted this one is because it is from the magazine, but I actually have the digital version of this magazine, so I can mark it up, but not really easily. And a lot of this is like very like 1 or 2 stitches at a time, and I am getting a little bit lost in the sauce, especially because the, you know, back stitching is on the chart as well. So I just thought for this one, it's not that big, and I think it took me like an hour to put it into the software. So for this one, totally worth it. I'm going to be very happy with the results, and it's not because I can't follow the chart, it's just to make my life that much easier. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Because I know people love Bella Filipinas, and I am so happy that they love them because they are stunning. It's just apparently not for me, which is disappointing. But again, there's so many other designers, I mean, Mirabilia included, and I'll happily stitch 50 of her patterns. So I'm not lacking for things to stitch by any means. So the next thing is the, you know, we've all seen it. We all love it so far. At least I'm really enjoying it, of course. But most of what I worked on the past 2 weeks was my Extraordinary Bird Sal. So this is 36 count Heather, fiber on a whim, linen. I'm stitching, you know, all called for 2/2. So last week I had really like this whole top done except for the bottom brown color here that really finished it off. So over the last week, 2 weeks, not week, I put in another 3,286 stitches. So this now has 6,222 stitches. And, ooh, hello, I forgot my little clippies today, so we're going with the flow. But I did finish all of this and all of this down here last week. So, last 2 weeks. So I've gotten quite a bit done, and she is now ready for the first feet when it comes out. I love these. I love that they come out weekly, and I love that they're, you know, pretty manageable for me to get done in like 1 or 2 days every week, like a day and a half, really. Most of the time I can finish these pieces in one, like that Friday. So when I come up to stitching this one with my Flosstubes, I've been putting them out on Fridays, but I might end up putting them out like Saturday mornings just so I can get that piece stitched and then I can show it that same week. But yeah, oh, I just love it. I'm loving this purple. I think it looks really good, actually. So that's always good when you go off course a little bit. Okay, so next up is my other stitch along, and this is the Secret Grove stitch along by Needle-Lot Designs. I broke my one piece by one designer rule for this one, because I really just didn't want to finish the dragon before this one came out, and I could not stitch her first stitch along. So this is what it looks like right now. And as for what just came out, you'll notice I did not finish the most recent part, and there are reasons I will get into, but I did put in these candles here and this stack of books with the potion on it. So I'll pop up here what is supposed to be in this section, and it's a very cute frog. The jester hat completely freaks me out. I don't know why, but like when I saw that jester hat and I did not know I had this like weird phobia or fear in me, but I felt like I got PTSD, and all I could think of was that scene in Hunchback of Notre Dame, where that one guy really creeps me out, apparently. Like he must be like the head of the, like the Romani group that's in that movie. But yeah, just something about it. I was like, I can't stitch a jester hat. So I'm thinking, and this is kind of plans too, but there are two options here for what I plan to do with this piece. So the next piece comes out in a little bit, and she's also, at the same time that she releases that last piece. The last piece is like 1,000 stitches, so it's very small, and I only have, and this frog here is about 1,000 stitches. So altogether, I only have about 2,000 stitches left in this piece. So easily doable and finishable. So the two options, when she releases the last part, she mentioned that she is going to also release you know how Lola Crow does, like release an extra pattern, like a small, to go with it. So I'm debating waiting for that to come out and seeing if I can finagle that somehow into this open space right here. Like just swap them out and put that one in place of the frog. The other option, if that just like doesn't work, or if I just decide that's not what I want to do, I think it'll be pretty easy, but I'm just going to remove the jester hat and I'm going to stack 2 more books on top of the frog's head. Because I think it'll fit. I'll just make the books a different color. So right now we have a green and a purple book, and that brown, I don't know, scroll book thing, whatever it is. So I'll probably do like, I don't know, maybe a red book or an orange book or a blue book using the blues from the scarf, because that's really, oh no, there's blue in him too. But yeah, I think there's like color combinations that exist in this that I could easily pull down and just do a few more books. So that's what I'm thinking. If you have thoughts on that, let me know. It really comes down to, I think, what the extra pattern she releases, because if what she releases is closer to like this bunny or it's closer to like this crow, that's just not going to fit there. So if it's closer to like the chipmunk, it might. So I just don't know, and we'll see. And Needle-Lot Designs also has another pattern that's like, that I have. I'm a part of her Patreon, so I have quite a few of her charts, and I just like her design, so I've bought quite a few over the years as well. So she has, I don't know if it was this year or last Valentine's Day, but she put out like a Valentine's Day frog. So if I really feel the need to stitch a frog, I could always just stitch that one. And I did look at just like swapping that pink frog to put in here, but I think that the dimensions might have been slightly off, or I was worried about the color palette not quite jiving with this palette here. I mean, there are a few pinks in here like this, but they're so small that I'm worried that like that huge pink frog like at the bottom here would just draw way too much focus away from everything else. So I did nix that idea, but if I want to stitch a frog, I have one of hers that I could easily stitch. Okay, so, oh, that's 36 count French lilac, picture this plus linen, and it's 2/2. If it's linen, it's over 2. And 36 count and lower counts is usually 2 strands, and 40 and higher is 1. I like those really plush, thick stitches on 36 count. There's just something about it, especially for like the Lola Crow designs and this Needle-Lot designs, that I really like that texture. Okay, so the last thing I worked on was my Whip Go piece. So I worked on Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife. And this is 46 count Wild Mint Linen by Atomic Ranch. My cat just jumped up behind me again, so we're gonna put you down on the ground. Sorry. Apparently someone's very needy today. So I did 1,339 stitches. It's at 30 point whatever %. and we're at 5,961 stitches out of 19,643. So about right here is the halfway point. So I'm trying to do the whole top half and then I'll start working on the bottom half, but it's looking good. I got the raven's face in, so that was nice. I got these ghost a little bit from far away, but the second you take a look at it, you can really see them. So I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah, I got quite a bit in over here. I got in this motif. I got in, you know, quite a bit of work on this. I'm happy with this. So my WhipGo goals is just to stitch on something for 3 days, you know, like 3 of my stitchy sessions, however long that is. Really, as long as I get like an hour in, I count that as a stitching day. So, I mean, I got enough progress in this, but this is gonna go away now, back into my temperature stitching. And I'm really enjoying it. And of course I did a conversion because I don't use weeks. So if you know, for whatever reason want that, I'm happy to share it. And I really only chose the overdyes that had the variegation in them. Because at the time, I didn't want to, for 46 count, I didn't want to buy a whole thing of floss. Because you just use so much less floss on this high of a count, going 1/1. But he's looking so good. I'm excited to keep working on that crow, and just, I think next time I'm probably just gonna keep filling in this border. Like I've been filling in the border and like doing 1 strand or something in the middle too. So just trying not to lose steam on this border and just keep progress. She just, do you hear her? She is purring so loudly. It will not leave me alone. Okay. So, so that's not quite as much stitching as maybe I would usually have gotten done. It's honestly just been a really busy 2 weeks. I get most of my stitching done, like most people, over the weekends. And the first weekend since my last video, we had Passover, so I was cooking for most of the day. And I have a cat hair stuck. Okay. So I was cooking most of the day and then doing the whole Passover dinner, which takes like 3 hours. So I was pretty much busy all of Saturday. Sunday, we did an 8-mile hike, which was way more than we had ever done before. And when we got back from that, we were absolutely toast, and I think went to bed at like 7. So that day was out. And then this past Monday was my husband's birthday. So last weekend, what did we do? So on Saturday, most of our day, you know, we went shopping, we did a little bit of shopping, and then we went to the gun range because that's something he's been wanting to do. And I did it. And then Sunday, we ended up going on a 5.5-mile hike. And then we came back from that, and since his birthday was Monday, I spent most of the day after that baking cookies for him to take into work. So most of my weekends have just been not very useful. I've also been like really in the mood to physically read stuff as opposed to like listening to it. So that's also cut down some of my like crafting time even. And I feel like when I finished my sweater, I kind of got in like a knitting slump too. So it's been a weird crafting 2 weeks, but you know, progress. I've still gotten quite a bit done. I'm not saying that I haven't had time. Like I don't have kids. I have plenty of time every week to do stuff. But going into plans for the next 2 weeks, you know, we've been getting really into hiking, so I'm anticipating that coming. I'm gonna, hopefully I've been, you know, putting up some pictures of our hike. We've been going to a national park near us, and that's been really, really fun. We've just really been enjoying being outside. I've been enjoying being outside. In Virginia, it gets so hot and so muggy so early in the year, so I've been really just trying to get outside as much as I possibly can, you know, sitting on the deck, even just working from the deck, and just taking lots of dog walks with the dog, you know, first thing in the morning. It's been really nice. It's been keeping me mentally, it's been good for the old noggin, you know. But you know, support your national parks. It's a shame that we're seeing a lot of these national parks being defunded, It's a shame that we are seeing a lot of these national park workers fired. I mean, these people are responsible for keeping these trails clean. It's not nothing, you know, it's such a unique part of this country that we have these preserved lands that are just used for us to go out and be outside and be in nature, you know, especially if you live in or around a city or even in the suburbs. Like, you don't get that where you live. And it's just, support your national parks, go out, go to whatever one is closest to you if you have the time. It is just such a literal breath of fresh air. It's been so lovely. We've been really enjoying it, and I can't see us stopping doing these things anytime soon. And I highly recommend, even, you know, don't go on an 8-mile hike. That's a little crazy even for me, but just go outside. There are like trails with 1-mile hikes, you know, 1-mile walks in nature. There's something for everybody. And I'll step down from that soapbox now. But my stitchy plans, which is where I was going to, you know, we'll see how much time I have, but I definitely plan on finishing the Dragon by Needle Art Designs. Again, like I said, I'm going to bring that to my stitchy meetup, so I'm planning to get, that one's so easy to do, so I'm planning on finishing that probably earlier in the week next week. So that's daily stitching. Vote below again for Winter Queen or for Hobbit House for the things for me to work on to replace Dragon. And of course, I'll create a new temperature stitching list for May. I like to rearrange that every month. You know, if something's a focus piece for WIPGO for me, I'll pull it out of that temperature stitching list. Or if it's, you know, it becomes my daily stitching piece, I'll also pull that out of there and just kind of work things around. So I will also, we got our new WIPGO calls a little bit early yesterday, so that was nice. And the WIPGO things for me are, of course, I'll pop up what my WIPGO is, but that is a fall themed piece and a Christmas themed piece. So for my Christmas themed piece, I'm just gonna keep working on my stocking. I haven't even finished my WIPGO call for this month on it, and I really need to get progress on it. So I think that's like the main thing over the next 2 weeks I really am going to focus on. But I will do a new start for the fall themed thing, because I do have, of course, like my spooky theme, right, which was my Within a Dream, and I have a Mill Hill that is called Ghost Town, and that's really like Halloween themed for me. Anything with ghosts on it is going to be Halloween themed, or just general spooky vibes, which is, you know, stuff I have in my house year round. But fall themes specifically, I have a couple of different things I could choose, but I believe I'm going to choose this Riolas kit. So this is Cozy Autumn, and I haven't done a Riolas kit before, so I'm excited to try. This is the wool acrylic threads, so I'm really excited to try using those. And it's on just like a black Ida, so I'm going to use everything that came in the kit except the needle, likely. I don't even know what count this is. 14 count. It's wool acrylic, so I'm going to do everything according to this. I don't want to, you know, get too small, and because I've never used wool acrylic before, I don't want to make it hard on myself. So I'm going to just, everything in here, 14 count black Ida. Yeah, I'm excited. If it's anything like this cover image, it's going to be so, so beautiful. So I will start that, and I'll pull that out for, you know, the 3 days this coming month. It's also my birthday month, so I might just make this my new start on my birthday, which is May 12th, because I don't really want to start anything else. And, you know, my birthday gifts this year really is going to be our Portland-Seattle trip, so we're not doing anything big for our birthdays. I mean, I turned 31. His was a 30 birthday this year, but again, like, we're doing our 30-year honeymoon thing. That's all going to be our Portland-Seattle trip this year, because we've never gone on vacation before. Yeah, I will start this at some point this month, likely close to my birthday, unless I just can't wait, and then I will just start it when I feel like it. Okay, so there's another sal, and I'm breaking my 1 sal at a time rule, because the sal I'm going to start is Burrow Tales. Most likely I'm going to start this piece. I'm at least going to start it. I'm not sure 100% if I'm going to keep up with it, but it is, again, oh my gosh, this cat. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. She releases like, I believe it's like a even smaller chunk than say like the Lola Crow. It's weekly, but it's a very small portion and it's only 3 colors. There's the main color and then there's 2 accent colors for the whole piece. I mean, if you go look at her previous sales, it's all very like a unique style and I believe it's gonna like look very similar to those. So yeah, I do plan on starting that. That comes out, I've purchased the pre-order and the first one comes out next Wednesday. So those are Wednesday releases. And so that's not gonna, compete with my Friday Lola Crow release. So I think we're good there. So I 95% sure I'm also going to start that. Secret Grove, that next part doesn't come out till May 9th. So that will be after my next video. So you won't see any progress on that. Same thing with Extraordinary Birds. That first feet won't come out until May 16th. So we won't see that again next time. And again, most of my work over the next 2 weeks is going to be on that stocking because I've got to make progress if I don't want to be scrambling towards the end of the year. That's really what I want to avoid doing. Okay, so knitting. Switching gears. Just some stats and information on this. So this is the Storm Sweater. The Storm Sweater by Petite Knit. Oh, you can see my shirt underneath popping out there. But yeah, so this is a Storm Sweater. So changes I made this ribbing shorter. I think it's supposed to be 3 inches and I definitely shortened the ribbing. I took out an entire chunk, like an entire row of pattern stitching because otherwise it just would have been much too long. I did go for that really oversized look and I'm very happy with it. It's a very comfy, like lounge around the house sweater, which is really what I was looking for. I've actually been wearing it outside too because I live in mosquito heaven. We live pretty close to water. So there's just mosquitoes everywhere. So when I'm outside, I almost always have like a fan directly pointing at me. So I get a little bit chilly even if it's warmer outside. So I've been wearing this outside. But yeah, so I got everything done. I didn't end up blocking the sleeves because I blocked the whole thing before I finished the ribbing here because I wanted to see how long the sleeves were gonna be. So I had actually done a whole nother one of these. So I did this pattern again down here. And after I blocked it, I put it on and I was like, oh yeah, no, this is gonna be way too long. So I ended up ripping all of that back and then just using that to then make the sleeves or the cuff on the sleeves. And I just never went back and reblocked these cuffs and I'm cool with that. So they don't look the prettiest because I reused the yarn that I ripped out after I had blocked it. So it was very crinkly and like ramen noodly. But it's fine. It's not perfect. I don't care. It is very much a lounge around the house sweater. I've worn it probably 80% of the days since I finished it, at least at one point during that day. I love it. It's so cozy. I knit this so I knit the extra large size in that pattern. Of course, I made modifications to shorten the sleeves and the body because I have I'm 5 feet tall. So I'm a very short human with a short torso. So I made everything shorter and I knit this, I sized up on the needles. So it calls for a US 6 and I knit it in a US 7. I knit this in Drops Daisy, which is a DK weight yarn in the color, it's the color 1 Marzipan. So it's not a white, it's very much a cream, like brown, beige. I'm really enjoying it. It's very cozy. It's going to pill a lot, honestly. Like the Drops Daisy is just so soft. And with any yarn that's too soft, you're going to get a lot of pilling. And I just don't care because I would rather be so comfortable in this. Like I could wear this next to skin, no problem. And that's not true of all yarns. My husband, on the other hand, like he's like the scratchier the yarn, the better. Which is cool for me because I can basically make him something in whatever the heck yarn I want to. and he will absolutely love it. So that's nice. And then for me, I can use some more luxurious, soft, maybe don't last forever. Whereas his sweaters, I'll make him a sweater. It's gonna last him the rest of his life. So that's nice. Yeah. Oh, knitting. Of course, outside of my secret knitting, I did do 2 swatches this week. So the first swatch was for that purple sweater. I showed you guys the yarn last week. It is going to be so pretty. So I did swatch this, I did block this. I just want you guys to see this halo on that yarn. It is unreal. It is so fuzzy. And this is 1 strand of fingering weight with 2 strands of lace weight mohair. So it's very fuzzy, very drapey. It's going to be very warm. And I did put this sweater plans a little bit on the back burner because I realized that I wanted something that was like a summer weight garment. So when we went shopping for my husband's birthday, we stopped quick at the yarn store down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I did end up getting and swatching up some yarn. This is Isair Bomulin, however you say it. It's in the color 16 Lagoon. It's 65% cotton, 35% linen. And it's like a lighter aqua color mixed with like a darker navy color. So it's not just one color. It's a little bit, there's a little bit more depth to it. I haven't blocked this yet, but this is going to be, I'm anticipating it's gonna block out and be a little more drapey even. But I just want to make a tank top. I want something that I can just throw on over whatever and have made it for the summer. Honestly, that's all. And a tank top. Yes, it's on like smaller gauge, smaller needles, but it's not going to take as long as sweater because there's no sleeves. And it's going to be like cropped, like a very cropped tank top. So, and there's no like yoke even, right? Like it's a tank top with like, this is completely open. So there's much less fabric you have to make. So yeah, so that's my plan for this. My shirt underneath is really popping through. That's okay. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been doing knitting wise. Books real quickly. Of course I read a lot, but I mentioned last week, I'm only gonna talk about things that I actually have something to say. So one of the books I read was Magpie Murders. This was so good. It's been on my shelf for a while, and it is actually a series, which I didn't know when I picked it up, but I'm excited to keep reading it. It was so unique. If you like a whodunit, like if you like a Hercule Poirot, Miss Marple, really anything Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes, if you like that style whodunit, you will really enjoy this book. It's kind of like, again, I'm really getting into the weeds here, but if you read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, it was like that level of, oh, this is different, this is interesting. And I don't want to give like really anything away because this whole book is like an experience. From the first chapter in, it's an experience. And if you like a whodunit, pick up this book. It was really good. It's even got like a high rating. It's like a 4.06 rating on Goodreads, which is honestly crazy. Of course, you get things that are higher than that, but for like a murder mystery or something like that, pretty good ratings. The other book I read, and I'm really only going to talk about this because Leigh Bardugo is so popular, I guess, but this is a standalone of hers called The Familiar that just came out last year. And it was much better than Ninth House. I did not like Ninth House. So in my opinion, it was better than that. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the premise. The pacing was a little bit weird, especially as you got towards the end. But, you know, by that point, I was already so far in it that I didn't really care. I could have done without the romance entirely. I don't think it added anything. It was pointless, and it was just so pointless, in my opinion. And I like a romance, but this one was just like added absolutely nothing to the story. So if the romance wasn't in it, it probably would have gone up like a full star in my book, because adding the romance in there just felt like you were adding something in it to appeal to people, not because it was actually important or even useful to the story itself, or even made sense. Honestly, in my opinion, I was just like, huh? These people are together for what purpose? Do they even like each other? What's happening? So yeah, if you like Lee Bardugo, I do recommend this one. It was good. Wouldn't reread it, not gonna keep it. I'm pretty particular with the books that I read. Like, I have to really like it and have it really make an impact on me. So like when I'm done with the book, I usually put it in this pile right here. Unless I absolutely loved it right off the bat, then I'll just go right onto the shelves. But if it was like, okay, that was a good time, put it down there. I usually wait like a couple months or so until that really fills up, or, you know, it's just been a while. And if I still am thinking about that book, I'll like reassess the stuff in there. And if I do like think about it a lot, it'll probably go back on the shelves. I think that's what's gonna happen with The Bog Wife. Yeah, that's kind of how I handle all that stuff. And, you know, I really thought this was gonna be a shorter video, and apparently I just can't escape that 40 to 45 minute mark, because I will just keep yapping forever. That's it. You don't need all this information about my books. I'm gonna keep reading. I don't know what I'm reading next, but I'm gonna read something. Yeah, okay, so with that, I'm going to stop yapping. If you've made it this far and made it through all of that, down below, leave your favorite woodland creature. I think mine is the squirrel. I'm just curious what yours is, because I'm doing Burrow Tales and I've done the Secret Grove Stitch Along, so it feels very fitting of the vibe. If you have any comments, any questions, anything, leave it below. I would love to talk to you, and I will see you next time in 2 weeks. Okay, bye!